Good morning everybody, good morning, it's JPR and welcome back to another video. Over the years we've added hundreds of Pokemon to the decks and we get to enjoy the vast majority of them in a variety of settings, be it the games, the anime, the manga, the trading card game, plushies, you name it. But just like in any class, you got the troublemakers who can't keep their noses clean and they gotta be dealt with in one way or another. In the case of Pokemon, these guys get involved in a single controversy and Nintendo has to take them out back and shoot them. That sounded a bit too aggressive, but you know what I'm talking about. Today we're going to recap a few of these unfortunate souls that have been lost to events that may or may not have been their fault, as well as a few Pokemon that aren't banned, but have been missing long enough to make me consider putting up a poster. So the very first and perhaps most infamous Pokemon to be banned from a form of media was none other than Porygon, following episode 38 of the original series anime, which aired on December 16th, 1997. That's right, before Pokemon had even come to the West, there was already a Pokemon on the blacklist. Talk about jumping the gun. I'd wager most of you already know the story, but if you don't, then the quick version would just be that it's an episode that centers around Ash and his friends traveling through a computer world on a Porygon. At least until Team Rocket shows up and decides to fire what else but missiles at them, causing Pikachu to let loose a Thunderbolt, which resulted in a rapidly flashing segment that caused seizures for more than 700 viewers. Unfortunately, Porygon ended up bearing the weight of the controversy rather than the cuddly cute mascot Pikachu, whose reputation would go largely unharmed. To avoid any further attention from the incident, the executive decision was made to cut Porygon out of the anime entirely, and this would later extend to its evolutionary relatives Porygon-2 and Porygon-Z. Porygon would, however, keep its small cameo appearance in the first Japanese opening, Mazaze Pokemon Master, even after the incident. Porygon would also make a cameo in the World of Pokemon introduction sequences for the 4th and 5th movies. In the English dub, Porygon was accidentally left in a brief scene transition in episode 47, A Chansey Operation, so it technically has appeared in the West, it's just never been a featured Pokemon. As for Porygon-2 and Porygon-Z, their only animated appearance was in the opening sequence of the 15th movie, Kyurem vs. the Sword of Justice, where every single Pokemon from the first 5 generations were shown, excluding Genesect, who had not yet been officially revealed. However, there is anime concept art for both Porygon-2 and Porygon-Z, suggesting that they may have been planned to appear at one point, but the staff eventually decided against it. Porygon-Z did later receive an anime voice in the game Pokepark Wii Pikachu's Adventure, where all the Pokemon use their anime voices, which is great for it, but leaves Porygon-2 as the only Pokemon in existence with no anime voice. Now, interestingly, episode 38 was not the first banned episode, it was actually the third behind episodes 18 and 35. However, none of the Pokemon featured in the previous 2 episodes faced any permanent consequences as a result of the bans. In fact, in episode 18 there weren't any new Pokemon that debuted, which is rather odd for an early season 1 episode. As for episode 35, 4 Pokemon would have their English dub debuts affected. Rhydon would not debut until 7 episodes later in Showdown in Dark City. Dratini would have a cameo appearance in Team Rocket's Fantasy 2 episodes later, but it wouldn't have another physical appearance until episode 251, nearly 6 years later. Dratini's evolved form Dragonair wouldn't make its main series debut until episode 216. And lastly, the most notable Pokemon to get shafted in the dub, Ash's 30 Tauros had the unlucky honor of being the only Pokemon captured in a banned episode, and they would not appear until episode 65 in the dub, where they didn't bother giving us much of an explanation as to how they got there. But as mentioned before, none of these 4 species suffered any permanent bans, just their debut episode remains locked away forever. Jinx would be the next Pokemon featured in a banned episode, that being episode 250, The Ice Path. Jinx's history in the Pokemon anime has been a strange one. It first appeared in the episode Holiday Hijinks, which was unbanned at first, until people likened Jinx to a racial stereotype. The episode was then banned in multiple countries, but was later added back into rotation in 2011 before once again getting pulled down later down the line. The episode was even reanimated to update Jinx to its new purple skin design, but even after that, the episode remained banned overseas. Later in 2013, previous episodes that featured Jinx in its old design were completely banned, those being episode 90, Stage Fight, where Jinx made a small cameo appearance, and episode 99, the Mandarin Island Mismatch, where Elite Four Lorelei uses a Jinx to blast off Team Rocket. However, 2 episodes, Pokemon Double Trouble and All Things Bright and Beautifly, also featured Jinx's original design, but those scenes were just cut out of the dub as opposed to fully banning the episodes. You'd think they'd do this for all 4 episodes instead of banning 2 and letting the other 2 slide, but I guess that made too much sense. Jinx would make a handful of unbanned appearances in its updated purple design later in the Advanced series, but ever since March 2006, Jinx has been completely absent from the anime. If I had to guess, the whole headache of recoloring and recutting and banning and unbanning episodes was just too much trouble, and they likely decided it would just be easier if Jinx wasn't featured in any capacity. At least they gave it the old college try. The next banned episode wouldn't occur until mid-Generation 3 with Advanced Series Episode 101. Unlike the previous episodes, this one never aired, not even in Japan, since an earthquake had struck the country 2 weeks prior, and this episode just happened to, well, feature a Whiscash making earthquakes. Not great timing, as you can probably guess. Luckily, Whiscash had already made its debut 26 episodes prior and wasn't penalized by the ban in any way, as it continues to appear even now. However, its pre-evolved form, Barboach, would have its debut pushed back to episode 110 of the Advanced series. Again, nothing long-lasting. However, while a Pokemon wouldn't be banned by this event, the moves Magnitude, Earthquake, and Fissure would quietly disappear from the anime following the incident. Even now, 17 years later, these moves have not been used since, although curiously, the Gen 5 move Bulldoze, which appears similar in function, is not banned from the anime. Finally, episode 64 of Pokemon Sun and Moon featuring Passimian would be banned in 2018, the first and only episode to be banned since the Jinx episodes were pulled in 2013. It was similarly banned due to concerns over racist imagery in which Ash Ketchum commits blackface to play a game of football with Passimian. This would push Passimian's English dub debut back to episode 81 of Sun and Moon, but beyond that, nothing permanent came of this. So if you're keeping track, the only things that are actually banned from the anime are Porygon's family, Earthquake and other similar moves, and Jinx, kinda. Every other Pokemon involved in a banned episode controversy eventually recovered. Actually, there is one other Pokemon that's been curiously absent from the Pokemon anime for quite some time, but it would be easier to start with the trading card game before we get to that. Another infamous controversy involves Kadabra, who was pulled from the TCG in 2003 after well-known magician Uri Geller attempted to sue Nintendo for creating Kadabra as an unauthorized parody of himself, which can mostly be seen in Kadabra's spoon-bending abilities as well as its Japanese name, Yoongetter. Kadabra would also make its final anime appearance shortly afterward in late 2005 during the Battle Frontier arc. Despite being one of the first 151 Pokemon, Kadabra has only ever appeared in a total of 5 episodes, so it's possible they knew they were on thin ice with Uri since the beginning. Kadabra was also left out of Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia despite Abra and Alakazam appearing in said game. A particular Abra card from the Diamond and Pearl set's Mysterious Treasures is even able to evolve directly into Alakazam due to Kadabra's ban. However, this story does have a happy ending, as Uri Geller finally apologized on November 28, 2020, and announced that he was lifting the ban on Kadabra card production. Nobody can really say why he changed his mind after so many years, perhaps it was due to the boom in Pokemon cards that's developed recently, but now we just wait and see how long it will take for Kadabra to return to the many forms of Pokemon media that he's been left out of for so long. While our attention is still on the TCG, I want to discuss some honorable mentions. These aren't banned Pokemon by any means, but like some of the ones from the anime, they've been conspicuously absent for quite a while. First up is Bonsly, who strangely hasn't had a trading card printed since the very first Diamond and Pearl set released in 2006 in Japan. 2 special Bonsly cards were also printed in Japan in 2005 as a tie-in with the 8th movie, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, but outside of Japan, we've only ever had this one Bonsly. As a regular card, it's not worth much, but apparently the reverse holo version goes for about $15 to $20, which is pretty good as far as basic cards go. It's almost the exact same story for Mantike as well. It had 2 movie cards printed in Japan, but overseas we only ever got the 1 card from the base Diamond and Pearl set. Value-wise, it's roughly the same as Bonsly. There are a few other Gen 4 baby Pokemon who were only printed a handful of times, like Badoo, Chingling, and Happiny, but only Bonsly and Mantike had the distinct honor of having only 1 card released in the West. Now, there are quite a few cards that have been banned in official competitions, but that topic has been covered in full by a much younger J-Wits from 2011, so I'll leave the TCG stuff that I'm not so well versed in to him. Now, turning our attention to the games for a bit, I've already discussed some of the Pokemon that have been missing or left behind, such as Glameow, Tynamo, and a few others, so if you want to check out that video, I encourage you to do so, just to avoid me repeating myself here. But even in the games, there are some banned and missing Pokemon. Of course, mythical Pokemon and select legendaries have been banned from most VGC competitions for years now, but in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, one strange outlier was added to that list: Ash Greninja. Now, there's no doubt about it, Ash Greninja is a rather strong Pokemon, but I think most would agree that there are far stronger unbanned Pokemon out there. But that didn't stop Game Freak from banning it from every major Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon online competition. Maybe you'd think it's because it's an event-only Pokemon, but then again, Lycanroc Dusk, another event-exclusive Pokemon, is legal. Maybe it's the way Greninja transforms, but Mega Evolutions are allowed, and Ash Greninja wasn't banned in regular Sun and Moon, so what's the real reason? The short answer is, they never told us. They just felt like banning it, so they banned it. Maybe they were concerned that it was over-centralizing the metagame. That might be the most valid point, but it's unlikely that we'll ever know 100%. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon didn't stop there though, as the games would crash during online competitions if certain moves were used. This led to the temporary banning of the moves Curse, Forest Curse, Power Trick, and String Shot. Since most Pokemon can learn dozens of moves, this didn't affect most Pokemon. But hilariously, it did affect two more than others, Caterpie and Weedle. You see, both can only learn 3 moves naturally. Caterpie gets Tackle, Bug Bite, and you guessed it, String Shot. And Weedle gets Poison Sting, Bug Bite, and String Shot as well. They also get Electro Web through Move Tutor, but that's still not enough to remove String Shot, so you'd have to visit the Move Deleter to get rid of String Shot entirely and be able to use these Pokemon online. Though, I'm not quite sure why you want to do that. Technically, Caterpie and Weedle were never actually banned, you would just have to go a bit out of your way to make them unbanned. A very strange alternate form Pokemon that had a number of restrictions placed on it was the spiky-eared Pichu from Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Spiky-eared Pichu originally appeared in the 12th Pokemon movie, Arceus and the Jewel of Life, belonging to Deimos in the ancient past. This Pichu appears at the shrine in Ilex Forest only if you have the event Shiny Pichu or its evolutions at the front of your party. It's later revealed that this Pichu time traveled to the present day with Celebi. This time travel phenomenon is also the excuse as to why Pichu can't be traded or transferred up to Generation 5, meaning it's doomed to live out the rest of its days in that Heart Gold cartridge that you probably lost when you were younger. Since it can't be transferred up, this also means that Spiky-eared Pichu is the only Pokemon form to not have a 3D model since it no longer existed in the code when X and Y came along. Misery loves company, as they say though, and that's why Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire would later introduce the cosplay Pikachu with a number of similarities. Just like Pichu, it can't move to any other games, it can't evolve, it can't breed, it can't be shiny, it can't really do much of anything, other than its intended contest career. I'm sure at the time they thought this wasn't a big deal since contests would also be biting the dust when Sun and Moon came out, but now we have 8 different Pikachu hat forms. Why are they able to keep coming back but Cosplay Pikachu can't? Cosplay Pikachu didn't time travel, she's just an innocent victim of feature removal. At the very least, she ended up getting some love in both Pokken Tournament and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where Pikachu Libre is a playable character in both. Oh yeah, Smash would also bring back Spiky-eared Pichu in Ultimate after Pichu's long absence in the series after Melee. Finally, we have the totem-sized Pokemon from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Basically, these were just obtainable versions of the various totem Pokemon that you would fight across Alola, with the only quirk being their large size. You can transfer these Pokemon up to Sword and Shield through Pokemon Home, but only the ones that were totems in the original Sun and Moon games. This means Totem Marowak, Araquanid, Togedemaru, and Rabambi are all unable to leave the Ultra Sun and Moon games, even though their comrades can. But even they don't get off so easy, as the totems that you can transfer through Pokemon Home will have their sizes reduced to match the regular members of their species. I guess the reason is because they don't want to stack Dynamax on top of a totem-sized Pokemon, but at that point, why even let any of the totems go through Home? Doesn't make a ton of sense if you ask me. But that'll do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. We're already getting pretty close to 110,000 subscribers, which is awesome, so let's keep up the pace. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.